This is what we take care of our home. We protect our house. Have fun, play together. Be confident. Believe you can do it. Let's go.
Destiny Walker drains the three.
That was deep. You can tell she has shot a million of these.
She's going to put her head down and drive her way to the rim. Peoples finds Gilbert in transition for a basket and a foul.
I like that.
Westbeld open. She'll track for three. Oh, it's all white twine for Maddie Westbeld.
You talked about the shooting, but how about the passing?
Wash, rinse, repeat. Mabry again. Oh my goodness. She has just been deadly here in this second half. And just like that, here come the Irish.
And welcome to the Niele Ivey Show, brought to you by TireRack.com. I'm Bob Nagle, your host, and honored to be with Coach Niele Ivey on our final show of this season. Boy, we went by in a hurry. And Niele, great being with you. And I know it's a busy time for everybody, but you've got some time maybe to look ahead, do some recruiting, do all that kind of stuff, and it's going to keep you busy.
Yes, we had a couple of days off from the ACC tournament, and then recruiting, and then just hopefully we can continue playing. If not, just we're going to reflect on the season and work on next year.
I know you can only control what you can control. You're 10-10 overall, but you're ahead of the league, 8-7 in the ACC. And it just seems like a couple of weeks ago, we were looking at maybe being a top 4 seed in the tournament, and it just didn't work out that way. But we had an outstanding game against Florida State, and you've had some great moments. I wanted to bring up the first win of your career as a head coach against Miami of Ohio. That certainly qualifies as a big win for us.
Yes, that was like 3 years ago. Didn't feel like it was a long time. Felt like it was such a long time ago, but I'll never forget that moment. I have the game ball, I have the stat sheet, I had the team sign it. It was a very, very special day for me, and just an honor again to lead this program, and then to get my first win as a head coach. And in the Purcell Pavilion, the best arena in the country. It was amazing.
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of Green fans back next year, so that'll be especially fun, too. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the season. We'll talk about some of the other big wins for the Irish and some special awards on our team for this season. I'm Bob Nagle. We're back with Coach Niele Ivey in just a moment, brought to you by TireRack.com. And we're back with you on the Niele Ivey Show, brought to you by TireRack.com, and time for a very special part of our show. And each and every show we have our breakdown segment brought to you by Meyer. And Coach, when we go back and look at the season, again, some big wins for the Irish in this season. We mentioned Florida State earlier, but you had 2 wins over a very good Virginia Tech team, and then a win over Georgia Tech. I mean, you had some great moments in league play.
Oh, absolutely. I felt like those 2 wins, especially the first win over Virginia Tech, it was a momentum booster for us, a confidence booster for us. Just having that realization that we can play with the best in the league. And so that was an awesome feeling. It was awesome for me to see the growth of this group. I was healthy back then, adding some new pieces during that time. So I think every game this year was a lesson. It's a part of the process. And, I was really encouraged by the growth of this team. And I think we're going to continue just getting better and better.
On the ACC tournament, North Carolina State winds up winning over Louisville, but I think it speaks for the balance that the conference has and the high level of play that should require 6, maybe 7 teams to get in the tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, this is an incredible league. Every night you're playing against the best of the best, some fantastic coaches, and it's just some amazing players. If you look at Dana Evans, what she's done this year, Kunane, what she's done at NC State, some multiple players that were in the top of all categories in NCAA women's basketball. So very strong league. I'm hoping that we can carry, 6 to 7 to go to the tournament and make some waves. But, credit to NC State going back to back. An amazing program under Coach Moore, has done a phenomenal job there at NC State. So it was a really exciting tournament. Unfortunately, we ended early, but I had the opportunity to support still and watched some really great basketball this weekend.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to play North Carolina State this year. That was one of the games that got canceled.
That was the game that they were going to lose.
There you go. I think you're right. But anyway, it was a good performance by everybody in the league in that tournament. And when I mentioned, you got some nice honors on this team, including 4 players making ACC All-Academic Team. And I know, we talk about wins and losses. But those are the big games. Those are the most important things. I want to congratulate Anaya Peoples and Dara Mabry, Destiny Walker, and Maddie Westbell. What a performance in the classroom for those four.
Yes, I'm so proud of them. You know, you think about Notre Dame, you think about the academic excellence that we have here and our academic reputation. So, you know, it's true, a student athlete here at Notre Dame. So I'm really proud of them for taking care of their business in the classroom and just honoring and mirroring the values of Notre Dame. It's not just about basketball; it's about the academic part and the 4 for 40 that you gain, you know, being a student athlete here at Notre Dame. So I was really proud of the work that they did in the classroom.
I know we mentioned Maddie Westbeld a lot during the course of the season, but she certainly earned it. She was our leading scorer. She's the freshman of the year in the ACC, and just a player who showed up right from day one, ready to play and ready to contribute, almost a double-double every night.
Yes, I mean, Maddie, right from when she stepped on campus, she made an impact, immediate impact. She led us in almost all categories, was a leader in so many categories as a freshman and a freshman in the ACC, and what she's done consistently day in and day out, leading our team, being the most consistent, confident player that she is. I'm just blessed to have her for 4 more years because of her gaining the year back after this year, and, you know, being freshman of the year, I think, from coaches, on the coaches ballot, and just what she's done, the impact that she's made. She's so coachable, and the sky's the limit for her.
She did so many great things. I mean, her 3-point percentage was terrific at 38%, 46% from the field, 78% from the free throw line. But the things that I really jump out at me are 49 assists on the course of the season. What an unselfish player. And she also had 40 offensive rebounds. Those are putbacks, and those usually wind up being some pretty good opportunities.
Yes, I think she's, you know, she's going to be the most versatile forward we'll ever have in this program. She can do it all. I mean, there are nights where I needed her to lead us in scoring, needed her to lead in rebounding, and also break the press for us. So she does it all. She came in with easy transition for her from high school to college. She already had a college body and a championship mindset. She has that mindset. She wants to be the best on the floor, and she works in order to be that. And so when you have that mindset followed along with a great work ethic, good things happen.
We're going to talk about the seniors on this team, and these are people with remarkable backgrounds because they're all part of a national championship team. They're part of a national final team. They have a chance to come back, many of them from injuries, like Michaela Vaughn did some outstanding things for us. And again, she averaged almost eight points a game and 6 rebounds a contest, and had 57% from the field. So she did everything she could coming back from a couple of injuries.
Yeah, and knowing how hard it is to come back from injury, especially 2 ACLs, I thought, our senior class was phenomenal, and credit to their leadership and what all of them have done, especially Nicole Benz, Destiny Walker. But again, coming back from injuries is not an easy task, and I think Michaela did a great job in the offseason being ready and available, to play this year. And so very happy and thankful for the years that they brought and what they brought to this program.
Well, Destiny started out at North Carolina, came here to Notre Dame, gave us a great contribution. And we always wanted to go back and play in a player's hometown when we could, because she's from Orlando. We wanted to go back every year, right?
Yeah. The closest we got was Miami. I think her family had an opportunity to support her there. But yeah, I mean, she's done such a great job, such an amazing young lady. She's going to have a very bright future.
Yeah, she averaged over 11 points a game and 3 rebounds a contest, and a couple of nights she was on fire and lit it up from the outside. So she gave us everything she had, and what a great gift she was come from North Carolina.
Yes, I thought she, fit in very well with our academic, obviously, being on the, being a really great student and just everything that Notre Dame stands for. And I thought, like you said earlier, I thought she did a great job of doing what she could do for us. Any given night, she's a scoring threat. She had some outstanding performances last year and also this year. So very grateful for her.
Got to talk about one more special lady who's a senior, and you talk about a trip. You talk about an adventure for a young lady, and that is certainly the wonderful job that was done by a player who started out as a manager, became a player, went back to being a manager, became another player. Nicole Benz, her contribution here is monumental because when we needed her most, she was always there.
Absolutely. I had the opportunity to see Ben's from the beginning. And like you said, she was a manager first. Sophomore year, she turned from a manager to play. And then so there's certain days that she had to actually go up and film. And then she would come from film, we'd grab her some shoes and say, we need you to practice. So she did whatever was necessary, the ultimate teammate. And honestly, coming back this year, I was probably the most impressed by her improvement. She was always in the gym. She was the first person in the gym, always working on her shot, did whatever I needed her to do in practice this year. And I was really happy right when I took the job, had an opportunity to give her a scholarship. That was a very special moment for me, taking over this role, this leadership role, to give her a scholarship. And she earned it and deserved it. She is the brightest spot on our team. She's carried a 4.0 GPA for the past 4 years. She's just an amazing young lady.
I know she's been a friend to a lot of the players that maybe needed a little bump or a little help with a certain class. She's been there for them there. And she's always the first one up off the seat when there was a timeout or a break in the game, slapping her teammates on the back and high-fiving them and just being a great teammate. And that's a great talent.
Oh, amazing. She's an amazing woman. She's going to do great, amazing things in this world. She is very bright, engineer. She's going to impact our world just by the way that she carries herself. And I thought that, our team really responded to her. They love her. She brings such positivity, great energy. She's just a phenomenal young woman. And I'm just lucky that I had a couple years to be around her and then this year to be able to coach her.
When you look at the roster of the players that are going to be coming back, we just mentioned the seniors who are going to be leaving. It's a phenomenal group of talented young ladies who come back with some experience. And they've been through a little bit of the ringer this year, and that'll make them better next year. If you could talk about the big players coming back. I know we've got Amira Abdur-Rahim, who gave you some minutes this year. We've also got Natalia Marshall, who's a 6'5" freshman who redshirted this year. We've got Danielle Cosgrove back. We've got Sam Brunell back. We got Maddie Westbell back. And we've got a young lady who's transferring in, Maya Dotson from Stanford. That's as much height as I can remember us having.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to look up to so many women next year. I think we have a great group coming back, top to bottom in every aspect and every position. When you add the addition of Natalia Marshall being out, with her knee, having to sit and watch, I think she learned just by being around. I know I learned a lot. You can learn a lot from sitting out. And so I know she learned a tremendous amount of knowledge by watching. Maya Dotson will be another phenomenal athlete. She reminds me of Brianna Turner in the way that she plays. She is not only a great athlete and amazing talent, she's an even better person. And so I'm really going to lean on her leadership, her experience. She brings such a championship pedigree, and I'm really excited for the addition of Maya. That was a huge bonus for us, and it's going to be monumental for us next year. She's going to make an immediate impact, and like you said, Danielle Cosgrove, Maddie Westbeld, Sam Brunell, all coming back. Maddie's going to gain so much experience. Sam, I'm looking forward to the year that she's going to have next year. She's really, I think this offseason, I know that she's going to work tremendously hard on her game. And she just is such an incredible, versatile inside out type post player. So I'm really excited for what's in store for us next year. Adding Sonia Citron, a freshman who is going to be, she's very similar to Jackie Young. She wears many hats. She's a great defender. She's athletic. She can shoot. She can post. She can do it all. And then obviously Olivia running the point for us. So it's going to be a very exciting team to watch next year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the depth in the backcourt as well. Dara Mabry's back. Caitlin Gilbert's back. Abby Prohaska's done a great job for us. And Anaya Peoples will be back, and Allie Campbell. And as you said, Sonia Citron gives us a chance to have a really great group of people to work with. And everybody's excited about Olivia Miles and what she's shown us already. And, give her another 6 weeks. She'll know everything about the program.
I know. She's been such a sponge. She's really, she's taken on, she's gotten better every time she stepped on the floor in practice and in games. She's fearless. she is she's a rock star, and looking forward to what she's gonna do with this program. But like you said, we have a lot of depth coming back. We've gained a lot of experience. I've gained experience. It's going to be in year 2, and this program is going to continue thriving. And I'm just excited to work with the group that I'm going to be working with next year. It's going to be a special year, and I'm excited for what the future holds.
I know they're excited about working with your staff as well. What a great job you've done. We're going to take a break, and we come back. We've got a couple of other segments that we're going to have, and then we'll get a chance to look forward later on in the show, Niele. So thanks for being with us during this breakdown segment. We'll be back in a moment with the Niele Ivey Show, brought to you by TireRack.com. And welcome back to the Niele Ivey Show. Time now for our full court press, and that features Sam Brunell. And she's going to be talking with a very special guest, somebody she works with on a daily basis, her position coach, Michaela Mabry. This segment brought to you by Bowling Vision Center.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this section of Full Court Press. My guest today is Coach Michaela Mabry, but we call her Coach Mike. I'll give you a quick bio about her really quick. She is in her 2nd year as an assistant coach here at Notre Dame. She was the first Mabry sister to come through Notre Dame, one of the absolute best 3-point shooters to come through Notre Dame as well when she was a player, and was a big part of that big Final Four streak run and her time as a player as well. And best of all, she is my positions coach. So thank you for joining me today, Coach Mike.
Thanks for having me, Sam. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. You're the best. Okay, so to start off, our relationship. So Mike and I have a super great relationship. It's a relationship where I know that I can text her, I can call her, or go to her office if I ever need anything. And I think that that's something really important to have with your coaches, and especially your positions coaches, because you spend the most time with them. We've also been able to go out to eat on numerous occasions together and just spend good quality time together talking about anything and everything. And it's been great. So, Mike, first and foremost, thinking back on your time as a player and, having had, I'm sure, great relationships with your coaches and more specifically position coaches, what is it like now being in the reverse role as the coach in the relationship, and how important is it to have and maintain these relationships?
Yeah, I think I learned largely from my experience at Notre Dame and what I went through and what I encountered from my coaches here during my 4 years. And I think, especially with kids these days, they need to know that they are cared for on and off the court, especially off the court, because there's going to be so many things that you go through as a student athlete here that have nothing to do with basketball. And I always want, especially my position kids, to be able to come to me and talk to me about these things so I can help. Because most of the time, I'm not going to say I have all the answers, but I'm going to be there and try my hardest to help you through whatever you're going through. And I think that is one of the most important things, regardless of basketball, regardless of you putting the ball in the hoop. It is about building relationships and having your kids trust you.
What's been kind of the most challenging part of your job and also like the most rewarding part?
I think the most challenging part this year especially has been a lot of just the COVID protocols and kind of what we have to do every single day. I know it's just been a huge adjustment, not just for our kids, but for coaches too. And just really following protocols, especially, being so far apart from your players. Like certain things that weren't in place last year have kind of just been a new thing for everybody. And I think that has been the most challenging thing this year in particular. But I think always the most rewarding thing for me at the end of the day is I know that I am changing lives every day in some way or not. And I think that's the most rewarding thing every single day, is just being able to come see you guys every day, do my job. And my job is helping you guys get to where you want to be in every aspect of life and reach your goals and dreams. And I think that is the most rewarding part and the goal and the mission every day.
And then, taking this one step further, what has it been like this past year to be alongside Coach Ivey, who, was also your coach not that long ago?
Yeah, it has been a blessing to be able to come back and coach with Coach Ivey. She is just one of the most genuine people that I know, someone that cares so much and gives so much to her players. And she inspires me every day. She makes me better every day. She pushes me every day. And we have now reached a new level of our relationship, going from her coaching me to now being alongside of her and just learning from her every day. I'm so grateful to be here and be under her. And just learn from her every single day.
Right. And Coach Ivey has been very fortunate to bring in a lot of great people this year. But, this year we were very fortunate enough to add little sister Dara to the team. How has having your little sister impacted you this year? And what is that relationship like since she's gotten to campus?
It has been such a blessing to have Dara here. And I think, coming in, you would think that I would help her so much more than she might help me. But just especially it being COVID and not being able to see anybody, just being able to see my sister, my family every day, I am blessed in every regard. And, our relationship has changed just a little bit because now we kind of have this coaching part to it. And it's been so great, just growing up. I know how badly she wants to be really good and how bad she likes to be pushed. And, it's so great to be able to be here and witness it and help her reach that goal every day.
And as you grow in your coaching career, what is one thing or a few things that you hope your players can leave with from Notre Dame?
I feel like when we're recruiting kids, they always talk about the biggest thing is a lot of the time is basketball. They want to get better. And that's always our number one goal. We want you to be the best basketball player, when you leave here. But I think the other thing is just leaving here being a great person and being able to stand up for yourselves and have a voice in our world, in our community, and have a leadership role and leave with that confidence, leave here being a strong woman. And I think that is our goal every single day. Just loving, serve, and mentor our kids. And that's Coach Ivey's motto. And that's what we rock with every day.
Absolutely. And I can attest that that's true. That's true. You guys do so much for us to make sure that we are becoming these confident and, empowered women every day. And I know that we all love and appreciate that so much. And we're not quite done. I have a really fun little question segment to do with you, rapid fire.
I'm ready.
So super quick here and there, we got this. And there's
Ready.
one super important question in there. I'm going to let you catch that, but Let's start. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Deer Park water or Aquafina water?
Aquafina.
Chipotle or Qdoba?
Qdoba.
Spring or fall?
Spring.
4th of July or Labor Day holiday?
Labor Day.
Rap or R&B?
Rap.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
Yes. All right. Rain or snow?
Snow.
Favorite snack?
Peanut M&Ms.
Favorite song all time?
Slow Jams by Twista. Look it up.
Alrighty then. And the very last one I have for you is blue or green?
Blue.
Period. Well, that was a really fun segment that we had today on Full Court Press with Coach Mike, Michaela Mabry. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Full Court Press today on the Niele Ivey Show, and I hope to see you next year.
How we doing, everybody, and welcome back from a Distance with Lynette. I am back with Coach Ivey, and as you all know, it is March, so it is Women's History Month, and as Queen Bee says, our Queen Beyonce, who run the world, girls, and obviously, Coach Ivey, you are one of those girls that run the world. So I want to talk, and we'll start with basketball, but we'll move off. Can you tell me some of the ND women's basketball alums that you think are making a really positive change, using their platform, went to ND, were great players, and now are really making a difference beyond for women like you and I?
Yes. Fortunately, there's so many to choose from, but I would start with Skylar Diggins and Enrique Gunwale. They both are part of the LeBron James project called More Than a Vote. I thought this summer they did a phenomenal job of using their platform and, just breaking barriers and doing things outside of just the game. That was a opportunity to get more people to vote for our 2020 election. So I thought that was very impactful. And just with voter suppression, I thought they did a great job of kind of using their celebrity in order to impact their fans and just our world. Also, Bree Turner, she was very vocal on social media, being a part of many organizations and bringing awareness to social justice. She's very bright, and I just felt that she was very powerful in her using her voice this summer, and always. I feel like she's always been very opinionated and speaking on social justice and things that need to be spoke on. And also Niele, I would say she as well. She used her platform for so many amazing discussions and dialogues, and she was part of moving the conversation forward and being a strong female role model, all about social justice and empowerment. So those four, I would be the top on my list of women that using their platform and making a stand and using their voice.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of women role models, Coach Muffet McGraw, she obviously came before you and she made great strides for women everywhere. I know I was lucky enough to interact with her a lot when she was still here, which, I mean, she's amazing. She's such a force of nature. But how would you say her legacy kind of either guides your coaching style or guides you just as a leader now in the Notre Dame athletics program?
Well, I would say that I am a complete reflection of her. My leadership style, what I've learned, obviously basketball wise, but just me as a person, she's really shaped my life in such a positive way. She's probably made the most impact on my life than anyone. I would say my mom being my biggest role model, and then second to my mom would be Coach McGraw. I've learned how to lead. I've learned how to coach. I've learned how, just to be a woman. I really learned everything coming here at Notre Dame. I was a young girl coming in, very innocent, and then, left a strong woman. And that's the way that I want to coach and that I want to lead and instill in my players the values of hard work, passion, integrity, and doing things the right way. So I would accredit her to a lot of my success, just because she led by example. She was a career woman. She wore many hats. She was a mother, she was a wife, and she, did everything phenomenally well. She was at the top of her game, and I'm hoping to strive to be that way. Definitely watched her being able to be a coach and a mother. That was something that was very impactful for my life. Being a single mom, just watching her being able to do both. So she's impacted my life in such a positive way, and I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the opportunities that she afforded me. So I'm very grateful for her.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, she's such a force, and we're both so lucky to have known her.
Yes.
So I know that you were one of the very few female NBA coaches, and also now you've come to Notre Dame and you're the first Black female coach. So can you kind of talk about what that was like, and in all honesty, what that was like? Was there hard time? I'm sure there was hard times, to talk about that, and just kind of what it's like being in a man's world and you having to be such a strong woman.
Yes. I think I get my strength from my mom. I definitely feel that. And if you ask my son, he will definitely say that I'm like the strongest person that he knows. But I feel like I got my strength from my mother. She was my prime example of, sending off all of her children who had 4 older brothers, all to Catholic schools, on a very modest salary. I don't know how she did it, to all Catholic schools. Really hard growing up in St. Louis, in the inner city of St. Louis, where we're from. And so I gained my strength from her. So coming to Notre Dame and then, making the jump of going to the NBA, it was very uncomfortable for me, because just being in a whole new environment, it was, like you said, it's a man's world. I was the only female in every meeting. There was only, I think, 2 other females that were even around the organization. One was a chef, and one was she worked in the front office that I was around a lot. And so I had to learn to be confident. I had to learn to stand up for what I knew and to use my voice. And that was an uncomfortable moment for me. And I grew every moment, every day. I just grew stronger and more confident in who I was as a coach and as a woman. And I am so grateful for that experience, because that experience propelled me to where I am now, being the first African-American coach on any sport here at Notre Dame, and being a leader, and being strong and powerful in the way that I lead, and also, in the way that I teach and coach this group of women. And I feel like the Grizzlies really prepared me for for what I'm doing right now. And obviously Coach McGraw prepared me for to be a head coach, but those experiences helped me to really push myself out of my comfort zone. I felt like I was very comfortable, being here at Notre Dame in a very familiar, safe space for the past, 14 years of my life, or even more than that, if you count me myself as a player. And last year, I just really stretched myself out of my comfort zone. I learned so much, and I'm going to continue to use the lessons that I learned last year in this leadership role as I continue to lead this team.
Yeah, wow. I feel so inspired. So you said, and I mean, I totally agree with your son. I think you are one of the strongest women, and I'm really glad to get to just watch you do all the things that you do. But so outside of basketball, and I know you mentioned your mom as well, who do you think is like either growing up or now a woman that you look to? It could be a celebrity, it could be someone in your life, and you're just like, either you want to embody her, you're just like, oh, that is queen. That is a queen right there. Someone like that. Who is kind of your person where you're like, oh, vision board, I love this woman?
I have a couple strong women that I love. I would firstly definitely say Beyonce. I think just I know I said that earlier, but she's done so many amazing things. She's always empowering women. She is a force, like you said, Coach McGraw. She's professional in her field. She is tapped in the most successful woman in so many different avenues. She wears a lot of different hats. She's a mother, came back from having, twins and another child. And she's an entrepreneur.
Wow.
She has broken so many barriers. So I think just her being an entrepreneur, I know we have two different fields, but just being strong and recognizing the strength of a woman, I think that's been very powerful. That I've looked. She's definitely been on my vision board. And I mean, outside of Coach McGraw and my mom, I think that would be probably one of the most women that I respect. So many different women, but I think you hear me talk about Beyonce a lot. But Michelle Obama, she's another force that I look up to. Serena Williams, just her strength and her power. A lot of athletes, I guess you can say, just because that's just a field that I'm in. Obviously, that I look up to. But so many powerful women that I try to continue to gain a lot of knowledge from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Beyonce having her twins and then doing that whole like Beychella thing. Like that still to this day, I'm like, that is a woman. That is insane. But so my final question, and it's just if you could give some inspiring words, you're obviously a trailblazer. So what would you say to women who are maybe afraid to take charge, or maybe they find themselves in spaces dominated by men, a man's world? What would you say to a woman either trying to break into that or finds herself in that and really feels like she should be in a leadership position but just doesn't know how to do it?
Absolutely. Whatever you're passionate about, just believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself. Obviously, you have to work hard to make sure that you're prepared for different moments, but believe that you can do it. Believe that anything is possible. Dream big. I always tell my son that that's something that I really took on last year, just realizing that no dream is big enough and I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. So believing in yourself and having a vision outside of match along with the work ethic, but having that vision to know that you can do anything. I think that would be my biggest lesson, and also knowing your worth. I think that's what I realized going through a lot of my career, just knowing your worth. I think if you know your worth, then everyone else will probably would respect that, but you have to know your worth first.
Wow. No dream is big enough. That's going right in my notes app. I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time and for celebrating women and just being an inspiration to all of us. And thank you all for tuning in to From a Distance with Lynette. It's been a great show. Have a great week, everybody.
Well, so my final episode, I felt like it would be the most amazing thing to have my son, Jaden Ivey, to wrap up this amazing past couple months. Has been really fun just to have my own radio show, have the first radio show. It was a lot of fun. So I thought this would be a special moment to invite my pride and joy on the show. So this is Catching Up.
Happy to be on the show, Mom.
Yeah, Catching Up with Coach Ivey. I have Jaden Ivey, who just today was honored by making the all freshman team, Big Ten, all freshman team. So that was great news. How do you feel about the news?
Great news.
How do you feel about it?
I was kind of happy just to see, all the work I put in is paying off. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's so much more left in me. So I'm just like, that's not the only thing that's going to happen in March. So I'm just trying to stay focused.
Yes. Well, take a little bit of time to reflect on.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy.
I'm enjoying it for sure.
And congrats to your teammate, Zach Edey.
Yep.
Also, please tell him I said congratulations when I saw
Yep.
that. I was hyped.
I will.
Sasha got a sportsmanship award, and then Travion getting first team. So huge.
Yep. Very huge.
For you guys, this is
very huge.
An amazing regular season, and excited to see what you guys are going to do this weekend. You guys are playing really well, and it's just, you guys are really fun to watch. What would you say just about your team, the development and growth of this season with the team?
At first it was a lot of ups and downs. Just trying to, get our chemistry together. We went down to Florida and we went 1-1, but I felt like, as the season progressed, we really, got our chemistry together and, we were able to, play within each other and, play some good basketball down the end of the regular season. So, our chemistry, where it's at now, we just got to keep it up, if we want to go far in the tournament. Our goal is to make the Final Four. That's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. So
when did you first realize like basketball, like that's my thing? I know that I gave you a hoop when you were 2 years old. I'll never forget. It's a little Fisher Price trying to wear some of your energy out. So I bought that rim and you shot on it all the time. But when did you feel like, because you were so athletic, you played so many different things, and I know that you love just being a part of a team, but when did you feel like, man, I think I want to play in college, or I want to, really focus on just one sport?
The exact time when I was like, I want to play basketball, it was just like a series of events where it's like, I've been around, Skylar and Joel, and like, I was like, I want to play this game. Like, this is fun. I want to be great. And that's, I feel like, after I was around, Skylar and, all the great players that, have been in the Notre Dame program, it just kind of took a toll of me. Like, I want to play this game. And obviously being around you and like traveling, just being around the team, Coach McGraw, it's just everything comes into play. I wanted to be, a good basketball player.
Mm-hmm. So that leads to my question about who was your favorite player growing up? Like when you first feel like, okay, I'm going to look up to this person. Who was that?
I feel like it's so many, but like, I love Skylar. Mm-hmm. Like, growing up, like Skylar was like an idol to, like, I love Skylar, like love being around Skylar. It was definitely Skylar growing up for sure. And she's from South Bend. Yeah. I'm from South Bend. Like, she was so popular, like when I was younger, and she still is popular, but
I don't know if you remember this, but every time out, you was like, Mom, who are you going to recruit tonight? And I'd be like, I'm going to Skylar's game. You always beg me to go.
I'd be like, can I come? Like,
can I please go? Are you going to see Skylar? Can I please go? So,
and like she would have the games packed, like at Washington. The games will be packed, no seats at all.
Yeah, I knew that was the answer, but it's just I always people ask me about like you growing up. I always talk to them about that. You as a male basketball player, the first person you looked up to was a female basketball player, which shows the respect that you have for the women's game, which still trying to gain that respect. And to me, I think it's amazing that your first role model was a female. It's important to understand that, yes, we can play this game. I can coach at this level. I can coach this game, but women can do it just as good as men.
Exactly. Yeah, that's facts. It's plain and simple.
Yeah. So, okay. So my other question is, if you had to go one-on-one, who would be the hardest person for you to guard? You think about all the Notre Dame greats, Arike, Jewel, Kayla McBride, Deborah Peters, Skylar. Who do you think is and they're all going to be listening and watching. So who do you think is the one that's going to be hardest to guard?
So I'm picking between Skylar, Jewel, Arike.
Like, who is the hardest you think it'd be the hardest for you to guard one-on-one?
Oh my. It's so hard. This is such a hard question because everyone is like that. Like Jewel is crafty, Kayla's crafty, Arike crafty, Skylar, like it's so hard. I don't know. I'd probably go with Skylar because that's my favorite. But I mean, obviously, like every other player is like, I'd say, can get a bucket.
For sure. Rick be mad at you when she hears that.
No, I'm gonna go with Arike too.
So you can't choose. You got to have both of them.
No, I really can't choose. I'm not choosing. I can't choose. I really can't choose because that's too tough of a question.
What was your most favorable moment? I guess being my son and traveling with the team. Favorite moment, because let me tell the fans. First of all, Jaden was it was really hard for him to watch. You usually went out with Charlotte when we lost. You took it harder than I took it, so it was always painful. You celebrate the hardest, and you took our losses the hardest of anyone that I know, which I always love you and appreciate so much support that you gave us. But what was your probably favorite Notre Dame women's basketball moment, being a part of it?
I would say, what was that, 2015 Final Four when Arike hit the buzzer beater?
No, 2018.
Buzzer beater. 2018. Yes. That whole experience was, I don't know, like it was just crazy. Like honestly, that experience was, one of the best experiences I've ever, witnessed. And obviously knowing Arike, like knowing what, like I've been in the gym with her and seeing the stuff she does and seeing it live play, and just her hitting 2 buzzer beaters, and 2 straight games, like that's just like it's just crazy, and it was crazy to just watch.
Yes. So let's talk about your buzzer beater, because I was talking to a reporter about the last time you were in Ohio, when you had your first career buzzer beater versus Ohio State.
Yeah.
You were in Columbus, and the last time was what you just said.
Yeah.
Most memorable moment at Notre Dame. Just walk me through your thought process of being in that moment and taking and having the confidence to take that shot.
Well, I always, overthink a lot of things when I play. I always feel like I can take it to another notch. And, so like I have the drive, going in, to the game. And the fourth quarter, we were down the whole game. And, my goal was, we wanted to win. And, it came down to the last second shot. And, just my mind was like, I want to hit the shot. Like I need to hit the shot. This needs to be game over. Like, we're going to win this game. And, when the ball's in my hands, I'm like, I'm about to cook this defender, and I'm about to knock this shot down. Like, and I was like, my mom, Carol's there, my mother's here, my whole family's here. Like, I got to hit this shot. And, I made the move, and I'm like, I thought it was about to go off, but it went down in the net, and I was like, whoa. Like, it was just, I had a lot of adrenaline after. So, yeah.
Putting the work in the gym is not something that you've been working on your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I do, like, every once in a while. I like just do mental reps where I just like, I'm thinking like the shot clock's going down, and I got to get a bucket. Like I'll do a move, and then I'll make the move and hit the shot, and that's something I just work on. Alone, in the gym late nights. It's just something I work on.
Mm-hmm. As far as talk about a little bit of the transition to college, like how difficult was it, or what advice would you give if there's somebody young in high school that's going to make that transition to college, or just making a transition to a different level? What advice would you give them?
Well, obviously, I had a year of college basically under my belt. I went to prep school, and it was like the first time I was away from you, and like I was like nervous to see, what it would take, to get through the whole year, just being on my own, being a man, you just gotta accept the challenge. That's one thing I would, give advice to, is just, accept the challenge, and, just knowing that, your career is starting now. You have so much on the line, and, just never take, any of these moments for granted. Obviously we've been in COVID, and, but, you just take every moment, into consideration, and, you just keep on rolling. That's what I would say.
Great advice. Okay, so a couple questions, won't be too long now. So I know you have a lot to do. So, and I know this answer, but for the ones that are watching, who was your favorite NBA player?
Favorite NBA player is Ja Morant.
I knew that.
Ja Morant.
Why Ja Morant?
That's like my idol, for real. I think it's just like when you got the job at Memphis, and obviously he was like a rising star, coming from Murray State, and it was a player that I was looking at like since the beginning of the season, and when you finally got the job and I was able to meet him and just be around the whole team, and seeing him play, it was just like, and I see a lot of similarities in my game, and I just think he's just a talented player, and hopefully I get to play against him one day. But yeah, that's a player I idolize, and I watch film on him all the time, and so yeah, that would be Ja Morant for sure.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I send that to him.
I know. I can't wait for him to see that or listen to this. It's such a blessing that so many things that has happened in our lives, so many doors that have opened, and for me to have the opportunity to coach in Memphis with Ja Morant, and be that organization, and be exposed to such elite players, elite coaches, and just being part of the NBA network now. It's unbelievable. The opportunities that basketball has given both of us. It's opened so many doors, and so that makes me happy. Ja Morant, and he's an even better person. And as you know,
he's such a cool dude.
Yeah, such humble. He's just an amazing man to look up to, which you have become as well. So I wanted to have you on the show because I felt like yesterday was International Women's Day, and this month is Women's History Month, and that's why I have the power of women, just women in general. I feel like I'm hoping that I've inspired you and empowered you like I'm trying to do my team. I've been empowered by a lot of strong women, including your grandmother, my mom. But I just wanted to dedicate this show to single moms and women, mothers, people that are, both career women that are also, wearing so many hats, that to let them know, like, look at you, look at the product, look at what you've done. I remember, which probably never told you this, but I remember, being pregnant with you. I had so many people that would doubted me. And then basically it's like, your career's over. You're not gonna be able to succeed. And this is kind of like our story and my journey is to kind of show women, single mothers, women everywhere, that if you believe, you work hard, you keep God first, that anything is possible. So I'm hoping that just them listening to you, looking at your story, looking at our story, how far we've come. I never thought in a million years that we would be in this position. And, hard work and God and having a great network of people that have helped us along the way. I could thank 1,000 people, 1,000 nannies I had while I was trying to coach and play professionally. There's so many people that I can name that have helped. It's taken a village, but I am just beyond proud of you, Jaden. I'm so proud of you for the man that you are and becoming and what you've done and your work ethic, the passion that you bring. You inspire me, you motivate me. And I'm looking forward to constant, your road. I'm looking forward to what you're about to do. And I want to thank you for always being supportive and always, because I know it's been hard, all the sacrifice that you've had to have with me being away and working so much. So I want to thank you for your support and your love, your unconditional love. And again, just so proud of you and looking forward to see what you're going to do, because the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm very thankful for you, Mom. You already know that, what you've done for me. I just can never thank you enough. And, I love you.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Time now for our look ahead segment with head coach Niele Ivey, brought to you by West Bend. And coach, we're like a lot of people around the country waiting to see what happens. And all you can do is hope that our good work that we did this year is noticed. We get a chance to continue the dance.
Yes. The most exciting part of the season is March. I'm hoping that I could paint my nails green. I'm hoping that our body of work is enough to get us in the tournament. And so that's, like you said, the only thing we can do is just wait. Unfortunately, we have to wait a couple more days. But regardless, I'm proud of this group. I'm proud of the growth of this group. And, hopefully we get a chance to survive and play. And if not, going to look forward to continue to build next year.
And Niele, before we wrap up, I wanted to give you a chance to talk about a very special project you're involved with here, with some special shoes that were designed by a local artist and made a great statement for Notre Dame women's basketball, as we've done for many years here.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing project, and I was very blessed to be a part of that project. Kamika Perry, a local African-American female artist here, thought she did a phenomenal job of amplifying our voice by putting, designing a shoe for us, having individual message for every single player on my team. It was a special moment. It allowed us to continue the dialogue, continue the message of hope, of love, of inspiration. Being in this role and being a role model, it's very important for us to continue to use our platform for good. And I thought Kamika did a great job of highlighting that for us. And so it was a special day for us.
Well, I kind of like the shirt too, but you didn't make it my size.
We can work on that.
Niele, great being with you again this year, and all the luck in the world to you and your staff and this wonderful team that's going to continue to develop. And that will wrap up this final edition of the Niele Ivey Show for this season. I'm Bob Nagle. Again, it's been an honor for me to be here with Coach, and we hope that everybody here at Notre Dame is back in the seats next year as we get going with another exciting season of Notre Dame women's basketball.